I recently participated in my first conference in a long time. On October 3, Supabase hosted their first user conference called SELECT. They dropped some seriously cool announcements and also hosted talks with founders from companies like Stripe, Firebase, and Figma, among others. In this video, I'll share my favorite bits from the conference. And if you are using Supabase or PostgreSQL, you might want to stick around. The conference started with a keynote and a series of announcements. One of their announcements was their raise announcement. They raised 100 million Series E at a 5 billion valuation. And that's just 4 months after closing their 200 million Series D at a 2 billion valuation. Not only it is a great product, but its integration with vibe coding apps surely helped it. Supabase is the default database choice for vibe coding apps like Lovable and Bolt, for example. However, more than anything, I respect that they've decided to allocate 1 million to their community.
We care about open source, and we really care about our community. And so we're reserving 1 million of this round for the community.
Next up is the Supabase Remote MCP server, which allows you to connect your Supabase projects to various AI agents for development. The Supabase MCP brings the following: support for browser-based OAuth 2 authentication, local Supabase CLI projects, selective tool access with feature groups, real-time documentation search, built-in security and performance advisors, and initial bucket management through Supabase storage.
So this meant that you could continue to use your favorite AI IDE while also giving it like a full view into your database. So practically speaking, you could do things like list tables, but maybe more useful, you could actually use it to help you create new tables in your database or maybe modify columns, all while following best practices like storing these in database migrations.
However, it's important to note that the Supabase MCP is designed to help you with development. You shouldn't connect it to your production database. Please be careful. And then came one of the most interesting announcements, Multigres, which is a Vitess adaptation for Postgres. Multigres brings the following to PostgreSQL: horizontal sharding, which means that your data is split across multiple servers, built-in connection pooling, zero downtime migrations, high availability with automatic failover and replica promotion, query routing, meaning that your queries will be distributed across shards and replicas, improving performance and resource usage, and lastly, it's Kubernetes native with automated backups. By the way, did I mention that it's also open source? Yep, it is. So if you are working with PostgreSQL, you definitely want to check it out. Besides these announcements, there were plenty of additional drops too. For example, you can now log with Web3. You also have OrioleDB, which is a Postgres storage extension that's meant as a direct replacement for PostgreSQL's heap storage.
Oriole adds indexed organized tables. It doesn't require vacuum, which I'm sure many of you operating Postgres at scale are pretty familiar with some of the challenges of vacuum. It solves the infamous wraparound problem of Postgres for large tables. And finally, it adds pluggable storage so that anyone in the world can add alternative storage engines to Postgres, not just the ones that we want for our platform.
And its purpose is to make the PostgreSQL more performant, efficient, and scalable. And lastly, Supabase now powers over 1,000 YC companies. Quite a few announcements, They really delivered. But once the announcements wrapped up, things shifted to founder talks. My favorite talk was the one with Blomfield, one of the co-founders of Monzo, talking about the state of startups. He said something really interesting that stuck with me.
And honestly, I think that naivety is such a powerful ingredient. It's why a lot of these companies are started by people with relative inexperience. You just don't know what you're getting yourself into, and you figure it out along the way.
Coming from someone who's founded not one, but $2 billion companies, that hit hard. However, the other talks were great as well, and I highly recommend to watch them. You can watch all the talks on the Supabase channel. And if you want to dive into hands-on demos, they also recorded the build stage, which you can also find on the Supabase YouTube channel. Overall, the conference was really good and I enjoyed participating virtually. Thanks for tuning in to my recap, but now go and check out these sessions. You learn a lot. See you in the next one.